Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again, and it is episode 9, Nueve. I hope you guys are excited, because I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I am excited.
You appear excited today.
I had my caffeine, I had my tea.
I did too.
And so
matcha.
I'm good.
Tea and matcha.
I had, it's a Holiday Joy. Holiday Joy tea. It has some spices and cinnamon. It's
Brewed
really
that up
good.
at home.
Brewed it at home.
Nice.
With honey. I don't use sugar. So.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm all about honey.
Honey's better.
Yeah, honey is a lot better
for you.
Smoother, down the throat. It's good for you. So.
All right, like you said, this is episode 9.
Thank
you guys for hanging out, and let's get it going. This is Damon.
This is Mike,
and this is a damn good show.
Damn
all right.
Good, all right.
So Mike sprung it on me today.
I did. So
you didn't give me any clue as to what our topic was.
No. So I wanted it to be a surprise because I wanted it to hit him right here. And so if you guys don't...
Right next to Joe Boo.
Joe Boo.
He didn't know who Joe Boo was.
I knew who Joe Boo. I just had to remember. You guys know it takes some time for me to recall things. So anyway, topic today is...
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
So, are you guys ready to get into it?
Now, clear it up for people what that was.
All right, so I got to clear it up because I played it for him earlier. He didn't recognize it because he said he's only watched the movie one time.
Maybe one time.
It is one of my wife's all-time favorites. It's Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. I did watch it once. It's just been a long time.
And so in that particular clip you just heard, he said marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. And that's our topic today. We're going to talk about marriage and relationships.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Let's roll with it. So,
I don't know where this is going to go. That's why I'm like, because he just sprung it on me. So I'm a little...
Marriage. So, over the last, I would say, couple of weeks, as we've been brainstorming our different topics, it hit me that I've had a lot of friends, I've had a lot of family members that have been going through some relationship and marital challenges.
Challenges? Yeah.
Yes. And... you know, I look at my relationship now. For you guys that don't know, I've been with my wife now going on 21 years. We've been married going on, this will be year 16 for us. And so...
yeah, so we're similar.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we met in college, just like you guys. Mm-hmm. We're actually very similar. I forgot about that. You guys met in college? We met in college.
Yes. University of Maryland.
Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. Better than Maryland.
Not even close.
Anyway, so yeah, we met in 96. So we've known each other for 22 and a half years. Mm-hmm. And we've been married for 15 and a half. Okay. Going on 16. So pretty close.
Pretty close.
So what's the one common thread we have together?
Well,
we talked about it before. We've always kind of mentioned it.
What common thread between you and me?
Yeah, between your all's relationship and my relationship with Tracy. Is that we married our what?
Our best friends.
Our best friends.
Married our best friends. I was trying to think because I was going to say height, and I was like, no, because my wife is taller than me, and Damon's taller than his wife.
Yeah, no, there's definitely not any similarities there. We're about the same height, and disparity. Ebony's like, she should have played basketball, not ran track.
Well, she did. She played basketball and she ran track. But back on topic. So essentially, as Damon was saying, best friends. We've been best friends from the very beginning, my ride or die. And, you know, I look back at our relationship when we were in school, and there were times where, you know, and a lot of you don't know, I pledged with Phi Beta Sigma. So I am a Sigma. And there were times that we were out late with my line brothers and doing activities and different things. And we would come in, everyone sleep, and I could knock on Ebony's door, and Ebony would make us sandwiches. Not just for me, she would make sandwiches for all my line brothers. And
that's true love right
there. I mean, hey, that was when I knew this was a woman I need to spend the rest of my life with. And when you have somebody like that, that's your friend, your confidant, somebody you can rely on, you know, that means a lot. However, I've learned over, you know, the last few years that some people get into relationships and they don't begin the relationships with those things.
Yeah, they start out with different things. They're probably a little more superficial at some point, or they're looking for something. And I think that's one of the common things that's come up. People always ask us, well, how have you guys been together for so long? Well, first of all, I really don't know. But we started out as friends, and we worked our way through all of those issues as friends. I think some people always go out and they look for a relationship. They're looking for that perfect person or something. Maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. But we've never experienced some of those things. So some of our hardships we dealt with early and we obviously continued. So we've always got a running joke too with Tracy and I. I graduated college before she did, and I moved up to DC to go work. And basically when I did that, we were in a long distance relationship. At the time, she was still in school, so she was still having fun, doing her thing, whatever, and I was working, and she decided to take a year off, roughly. So even though we've been together for 23 years, I say 23 minus 1. But actually, I think it was probably the best thing that happened to us, is that we took time apart.
Well, the interesting thing is I'm learning new things about Damon, and he's talking about our similarities. So Ebony graduated before I did.
Oh, really?
She went to DC to work.
Oh, nice.
And, well, it's still down the street. But, for me, we were still apart. She was working. I was in school. I was still running track and doing a number of things. And then after graduating from Maryland, I went back to California.
Well, let's be clear. I didn't know Ebony during that year.
No.
I know people were going to ask.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that.
No, we met here in Orlando. But all in all, as we discussed this topic, and I was thinking about it over the last couple of weeks, I started connecting other relationships that we've come across outside of Damon and Tracy. We've had friends that we've known for many years, but we may not have seen for quite some time.
Yeah.
And then, we're like, hey, such and such, how is your significant other? And then the first thing out of their mouth, we're separated, or we're not together again. And it was like, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. And
where do you go from there sometimes with that conversation?
And so you try to change the subject real quick. But what we begin seeing is a pattern. Mm-hmm. A few weeks go by, we'll see somebody else. Same thing. They would say, we're separated. And we began to get uncomfortable asking people we hadn't seen in a while if they weren't at that time with their significant other.
Are we going to get the same response?
Yeah, should we say something? And so that was always, it became an uncomfortable thing. And then most recently, I've had other friends that we're close to that've been together for years going through a separation.
Yeah.
I have another friend who recently got married. I would say got married about 5 or 6 months ago. Going through a separation.
Good grief.
Within a 6 month time period. I have friends that were planning on getting married that are kind of postponing things right now. And there's a reason behind that. At least that I found a connection to all three of those. I don't have a connection with the other, with the couples that we hadn't seen in years, because we didn't want to dive too deep into what went wrong, kind of thing.
None
but the other relationships, the more recent ones, they felt comfortable having those conversations because they were fair newlyweds for the most part, and they look at Ebony and I's relationship, knowing that we've been together for many years, and say, well, what have you guys done? What works?
Yeah.
And come to find out, they weren't communicating.
Yeah, communication's huge.
It's simple, one simple thing. And
we've experienced a lot of the similar things, and so as everybody knows through this show, we've traveled, right? We moved to Europe for 5 years. Before we moved, we had a group of friends that I hung out with. And again, like you, I'm not at liberty to say who, but we had a group of friends and people we were around with. And as we were leaving, there was a couple that were on the rocks. One or two people, you kind of figure as they go through life, something happens, right? We go away for 5 years and come back, and there's probably like 5 or 6 more couples, at least, that have gone through similar things where they've separated, they weren't getting along, and here we were thinking that everything's hunky-dory back here in Florida, and they just weren't. And for a lot of different reasons. Some people were early in their relationships. Some of them got married early as, like out of college or something, or they had kids early or whatever. But it was a lot of different reasons and a lot of different backgrounds. But I think a common thread with a lot of them, as we found out as of today, is similar problems as communication.
Yeah.
Because that's... when you go through and you tell people that, because they do ask us a lot too, you guys have been together a long time. You seem like you get along really well. We do, for the most part. We do. But we're human. We still have our things that we have to deal with and issues that we deal with. But at the end of the day, we can talk. We can pretty much say anything to each other as far as working through an issue and be open and honest about it. Because the minute one of us isn't, the other one knows.
Yes. Ooh, that is a big thing.
You know what I mean?
I want to piggyback on what Damon just said. In no way, shape, or form do myself or does Ebony and I have a perfect relationship. Damon said we're all human. We stumble through things, but we stumble together through things. And then when you talk about your significant other having an issue or something being wrong, they come in the house. You sense it, especially if you've been in a relationship for many years, you can tell there's a body language, there's an aura, there's an essence, there's something that's just radiating from that person. And you're like, well, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing.
It's always nothing. Nothing. That's the worst answer.
I'm okay, or I'm good, or,
Well, so that's a progression that we've learned how to deal with, right? It used to be, I'm a fixer, man. Like, I'm pretty black and white as far as fixing issues. Yeah, so I go try to work it out. There's no sense to me in letting problems linger. So over the years, I'm pretty straightforward. What's going on? Nothing. No, like, what's the problem? Like, I want to help you out. There isn't a problem. Yeah, there is. Now, so that going back then, it was that's actually what started some of our confrontations.
Back in the young and mature days.
And I would be lying if I said it doesn't happen today, but it happens less times today, because now we realize you can kind of sense when someone needs the space. Give them the space, let them cool down. Let's talk about it in the morning or talk about it later. It's really hard for me to do that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like letting stuff linger, just like I don't like letting stuff linger with the kids. I know something's going on. Let's fix it. Let's get on it.
I was definitely like that earlier in our relationship, where I'm a fixer. I want to solve, people's problems. I've always been that type of person where, to some extent, I'm, a little nosy, not because I want to be in your business, but I want to help. And I had to learn to take some steps away sometimes from certain situations. And then with Ebony is more of a, she wants to be that figure that carries everybody. And so she's that rock in our family. And a lot of times she will internalize things because she doesn't want it to weigh on me.
Sure.
And one of the things that I've always asked her, I was like, look, you're not in this by yourself, one. And then two, especially if it's something that I did that's causing it, you gotta let me know right away.
For sure.
You gotta let me know right away.
And what you find out a lot of times, it's not.
Yeah, like 99% of the times it's not. It can be things at work. It could be things just with our son. It could be financial. It could be a number of different things.
Something in the news.
And so, yeah. And many times she just doesn't want, she wants to carry it. She doesn't want it to weigh on me. Right. And so when I ask her, well, what's going on? Nothing, or I'm okay, but you can clearly see.
Right.
And so what we've learned, or what I've learned over time is, I have to give her a moment to, when she's ready to talk about it, instead of pushing the issue. And there are a lot of fixers out there that want to help solve situations, but many times when you're pushing to try to solve it, you're making it worse.
Yeah, no, I definitely make it worse because I'm kind of a logic person. I'll go through step A, B, C, D. I don't know, it's just my engineering mind, right? Like, all right, if this isn't it, then this has to be it. If this isn't it, then this has to be it.
So you're trying to internalize what it could be.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, so typical troubleshooting. You cut out half. Here's the problem. You cut out half of it by answering a question, and then you don't get the answer to the question. You get frustrated. You're like, I know I can help, but like I'm not making any progress. So you just make things worse. So I definitely have made things worse. But you know, it goes both ways. There's times when I've had to realize that she's more emotional than me. She gets emotional attachments to certain things that I don't. Again, I'm more black and white about things. I think we just talked about this before today. That I basically just have a yes or no for a lot of stuff, and I didn't take the time to really consider that there's an emotional side of it. That it's not that I'm emotionless. It's just that mine peak on different things than hers do. So. Yeah. How do you handle that a lot of times? A lot of people ask that question.
Well, I have an answer for you.
You have an answer?
I have an answer for you. So when you're in a situation like that where...
Mike's my counselor.
Where you want to fix something, but she's not ready, or he's not ready, vice versa, to open up to you, and you know there's a problem, what I've learned to do over time is take things off of her plate.
Yeah.
That's for me, because when there's something bothering them, the last thing that they really want to do is be frustrated or trying to deal with other things. So, again, Ebony has been our rock. She does a lot of stuff at home for both me and my son, and we both equally carry weight, but she is more of a, I got to do it right now. I admit I'm a procrastinator far too often than I should be. But she's constantly moving. So when I sense that she's having those issues, I say, nope, I got this. You doing the laundry? I got this. I'll fold it.
Yeah.
Where you can cook dinner? Nope, I got this. I'm going to cook dinner. I take stuff off of her plate so she's no longer stressing
about that piece of
about those other
she
things.
Can focus in
and
on
she can focus on the primary thing. So that's a lesson for many of you. I know some people that have been married for years that still struggle with that concept. They're still trying to beat down the door. No, you need to tell me what's going on right now, kind of thing. And that doesn't help. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help anybody else. And it just makes the situation worse. So if you really want to think about it and you really want to help, take something off their plate. Let them relax. Let them process the situation that they're going to. And sometime you might just have to bust out the hot oil and rub some feet. I mean, in all honesty.
Feet?
And see, that's going to get me in trouble because the moment she sees this, I'm going to have to rub some feet. Or, hey, we talked about food. We talked about eating healthy. Sometime it may just be ice cream.
Yeah, it could be. The key, remember, we talked about it, I think, last episode. The key to my wife's heart was food.
Yeah.
When we first met, the first thing I did, I invited her over to my house. We were in college, and I cooked an Italian meal for her. That was it. Done deal.
There you go.
So back to the communication thing we talked about causes other issues, and one of the words that come up, especially in our relationship, that we tell people is trust. We have trusted each other from day one.
Yeah.
There's never a situation that we get into where we're like, we don't trust each other, but it's because we talk, it's because we communicate. But that is a huge problem that I see other couples don't have. Like, you'll hang out with your boys, right, or whoever, and you'll be like, oh, man, you really think the girls are doing this? You think they're really hanging out at this such and such place? I'm like, man, I don't know, and I don't really care. Like, I trust her enough to go do whatever it is they're doing. If they're off doing something else, that's on her. Like, it shouldn't affect me. But she's likewise with me. If I'm out with people, or if I'm hanging with my friends, or if I'm doing whatever, she knows that's what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be, we don't even question it. Like, that's not even a thought process. So we don't even deal with the emotions of that.
It starts with the communication aspect. So as long as you're communicating, I've had people that have asked me, well, your wife's going to let you do that?
Yeah. I don't,
why
I don't
wouldn't
do
she?
We don't do kitchen passes in my house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need her. Like, we do. We ask each other, hey, is it okay if I do this? Or is it okay? May I go? Do we have anything planned? That's
primarily the reason,
right?
Because there's a trust situation where I don't have to ask. I mean, we're both men, but we're in a relationship, so it's not like we're going and saying, "Hey, babe, is it all right if we go and do this?"
But I know people like that.
Yeah, it's not like that, but it's just us communicating, because she handles a schedule, with our sons, all of his activities and stuff. It's half the time I don't even know what I'm doing during the week. Yep. And it's like, babe, hey, do I have anything on Friday? Or do I have anything on Thursday? Yeah, you're filming with Damon. And so it's like, oh yeah, I got to go do that. So that's primarily why we ask, is to make sure that we're not
in conflict with something else.
With something else. And primarily the reason we can do that is because we have that trust barrier. And like I said, I have relationships or friends that say, hey, your wife's gonna let you do that. And yeah, I had a job in LA. I used to work at Ticketmaster, and we had access to nightclubs and different things, and they would invite the staff out, and many times it'd be late. I've never been a clubbing person, but there were situations where it was like, all right, well, we're meeting at the Roxy in LA. For those that know where the Roxy is, we're meeting at the Roxy at 10:30. For me, that's late, man, and I don't want any jokes because y'all know I go to bed early. But for me, that's late. Going out at 10:30, and so that means if you're staying out, you're probably not leaving till 1 or something like that. So that
we used to take a nap before 10:30.
Oh yeah,
you gotta take a nap,
man,
just to make it tonight.
I saw a post on Facebook the other day. It said, I'm at an age now where I can text you at 10:19 and be by 10:19 and 19 seconds.
Of course.
So it's like that. But anyway, back in the day, we would go out, we would, and there was never any concern on, where I was, because she already knew where I was. She already knew what we were doing, and she trusted me to make sure that I was coming home. And that's where it starts. And I came home.
All right, so I have my funny story about trust. It's kind of funny, I guess. It's not real funny, but it's kind of funny. So we had got married in July, and 7 weeks later, a buddy of mine from college was getting married. And we had, no, he wasn't getting married. It was his bachelor party.
Okay.
So we went to his bachelor party a couple months before he got married. But it was 7 weeks after we got married. So when we first got married, I really didn't, it felt weird to wear a ring. I don't know. Even today, I take it off whenever I play golf and stuff. But anyway, we were at his bachelor party. We're there at night in the casino, and I lost my band, my wedding band. Now, mind you, we were in the casino. The first thing I did was call her up and I was like, "Hey, I lost my wedding ring." She's like, and her first thing, "What were you doing at the strip club?" All right, I'm like, "Wait a minute, whoa, hey, calm down. We weren't even there yet."
Yet.
It is what it is. That's what we did. But anyway, so yeah, that was 7 weeks after we got married. But then it really was. I took it off when I went to wash my hands, and I either missed my pocket or I may have even dropped it. The guy that gives you the soap in the bathroom.
Those are the fancy restrooms.
So I guess. But anyway, I may have just put it in the tip jar and didn't realize it. And of course, I went back in asking, "Oh no, I haven't seen that." He probably hocked it. So anyway, that was my funny story. Okay. So we had to build trust from that. Early on, and we'd already been together for 4 years anyway, dating. So,
well, I want to say this to everybody, because this topic can definitely go on indefinitely. I mean, it can go on for quite some time, because there are a variety of different avenues and things that will relate to different people. There's no perfect solution, and really, the things that we've learned, and just kind of backtrack a little bit, it's making sure that you guys are friends before anything in a relationship. Making sure that you guys are communicating when you're in a relationship.
Got to talk.
Making sure you trust the person when you're in a relationship. And then just the last little piece that I can wrap up for me, I share this with young and old partners that are in relationships, whether they're married or dating or just trying to figure out in life. Do your best to remove yourself from the equation when you're taking care of a significant other.
Yeah.
And what that means is, if there are circumstances that you get upset about, or circumstances that bother you that the other person may do, if those things aren't necessarily hindering them, it's not affecting them physically, mentally, financially, it's not affecting you physically, mentally, or financially, take your stuff out of the equation and find a solution to it. The best example that I can give, I was one of those husbands that used to leave cabinet doors open. And it bothered Ebony to to the ends of time. She absolutely despised it. And I, for me, I would believe I was closing them, but apparently I wasn't. And so she would get upset about it. But over time, as we evolved in our relationship and we became more mature, she started closing the cabinets.
Yeah.
And she started closing the cabinets because she removed herself from the equation and realized that the situation wasn't bothering me.
Yeah.
It was bothering her.
Mm-hmm.
And so by taking herself out and just focusing on the cabinets need to be closed,
yeah,
she would close the cabinets. And so after she gained confidence or learned to, address that situation, she talked to me about it, and she said, "Hey, this was one of the things that you did."
Bugging the crap out of me.
It was like a past tense thing. It was, these are one of the things that used to bother me. Was the cabinet doors, and to me, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
And so
it's like the toothpaste in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, that's another story for me because I don't like dirty toothpaste caps, and so
I don't like it when they just grab it and squeeze it where it ends up at the bottom.
Yes,
I have to squeeze
from the top. That's me too. So I had the same issue. I didn't like dirty toothpaste caps, and I found myself cleaning caps every 2 weeks or so.
And you just let it go.
And so what I did, instead of getting upset about it, I would either clean it or I started buying my own toothpaste.
There you go.
So I removed myself from the equation because it was something that didn't bother her. Just like the cabinet doors, psychologically, I wasn't even thinking about it. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
So she fixed it. I fixed that situation because it wasn't a big deal. But in many relationships, those things could
tear people apart. You don't
blow
even realize
up.
it. Yeah.
Something that little. Every time I come in here, I gotta close these cabinet doors.
Yeah.
And slamming them, and then you come in. Well, why are you slamming the cabinet door?
Yeah.
Because you always leave them open. I don't leave the cabinet doors open.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you do. And
you
then
sound like your kids.
Yeah, I mean, man, it could develop in that, and so I'm sure that there are a lot of people that have similar situations.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be cabinets for you. It may not be toothpaste for you. It could be, toilet seats. It could be a number of different things that people internalize. They take it in, they hold it, and they get mad, and it festers and builds, and then just one day they just blow up, and then you're like, where'd all that come from?
Yeah, sure.
And so that's my lesson to you guys.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we don't like to see our friends in these situations. Yeah. And it's actually sometimes difficult that you want to be a listening ear for them if you can. But a lot of times it's difficult to have that conversation one-on-one. So we wanted to try to bring it in this format, at least open it up to what we see and how we handle our situations. So again, I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you can take a little bit of tidbit. Again, we're not perfect. Our relationships aren't perfect. No. We're struggle every day we learn something. Mm-hmm. So just take that with, in that mindset too. Just know that you're going to learn something every day. So at least that's what I've done. So far it's worked. So far it's worked. But anyway, I guess we could close it with that. Yeah. Got everything out?
Prayer. Last thing. Prayer.
Yeah.
Make sure you get prayer in there. That's it. I'm going to close with that.
Or meditation.
Yeah.
Prayer, meditation, something. Yeah. Get away.
Yeah.
If you need space, go outside. I go outside and mow the grass if I have to. I mean, that's my getaway.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Most people don't mow the grass around here, but I do. But anyway, yeah. So, Episode 9. Marriage, relationships. Do something about it. If you see a friend in need, be a listening ear for them. Give them some advice maybe, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Some people don't want to, but if you can, be there for them. So
yeah, and maybe guys, share down in the comments below. Share down some of the situations that you may have gone through, and that information may resonate with one of our other followers. It lets us know that you're out there, and maybe we can discuss other topics and other aspects of relationships that can help somebody that may be struggling.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do another episode, something similar to this, or expand on it
down the road.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. As always, please go check us out: Instagram, Facebook. Hit that little notification bell at the top.
Join the Damn Nation, guys. Subscribe.
We need to get you guys out there. We are getting a little traction, so we want to keep it moving. So
yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys for coming out. And so this is Damon.
This is Mike.
And this is a
Damn Good Show. Peace.
I got a little worried because of the battery.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, ooh.